You better do where you skip the one, like Freddie Benson did, like my man's.
Skip the one.
Skip the one.
You know, like they did in iCarly, remember?
3, 2.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Sam and Carly. Just do it.
No. 5, 4.
Are we recording?
2, 1.
You said the one.
No,
I
I skipped
the
3.
Yeah, but
Got him.
Again.
welcome to 2 6-packs and a mic.
Your name.
Episode 1. My name,
Oh.
Neil Shaw. Your name,
Tim Liu.
Parth Jane.
Ananta.
and we have a very special guest here today. Why don't you introduce yourself,
Hey.
Christos?
Oh,
well.
You said his...
Spoilers.
Hey, my name's Christos Rolaitis.
Nice.
Yes. He's a freshman at Virginia Tech, and we're hoping that we can interrogate him, suck him dry, and leave him for the vultures after this 1 hour
I
session.
don't understand your metaphors.
I don't either. I just wanted to be edgy, right? By the way, all you guys, we really need to lean in. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah, let me scoot in. Let's get intimate, guys.
Start chewing real good.
So,
She crunch right next to me.
no chips. No
This is
chips.
ASMR.
No chip at ASMR. Oh God. Parth and Ananto, you guys are new to the podcast. I mean, disregarding Christos, obviously, but you actually, or you by you, Parth, I mean, you actually listened to the podcast, episode 0. What did you think of it? I wanted
We were looking for feedback.
to. We're looking for feedback indeed.
Look, I think it was great. You all have personalities. Almost.
Whoa, that is quite the compliment right there.
Yeah. Maybe this episode we become more focused on what we want to, where we actually want to go with the discussion. The 2 a.m. discussion is a great idea, and maybe this time that 2 a.m. discussion will actually coalesce into something legitimate.
And,
But if not, doesn't really matter.
yeah, that's the point. Tangents.
These aren't even at 2 a.m.
These aren't at 2. What it was like 6? Yeah, 6:30 again.
Ready
Same
for some
time.
pizza.
Saturday
2
this
a.m.
time.
somewhere.
It is 2 a.m. somewhere.
Yeah.
Take a shot to that. Don't worry. These 2 6-packs are San Pellegrino. No alcohol is involved. Isn't that right, Ananto?
It's a paid sponsorship.
This is
Yeah.
a paid sponsorship by the Anti-Alcohol Consumer League.
Yes, we are, what are they called?
It's kosher, halal,
What else is there?
Anti-halal.
Vegan.
vegan,
Gluten
pescatarian,
Pescatarian. Vegetarian. Gluten-free.
keto.
Made with
I think that's
quinoa.
Non-hormonic.
Oh, that is
Or actually pro-hormonic, considering all teenagers.
Full of GMOs.
antibiotic.
LGBTQ.
Plus. Buddy. Gotta be
I'm
inclusive,
sorry.
alright?
No,
Gosh,
not the
Parth.
plus.
No, not the
minus.
minus. I mean, okay. We are 5 guys sitting around a mic and
should get
2 feet
burgers.
apart, so I think LGBTQ is a valid description of this. But moving on, college. That is, of course, why we came here
transitions are
for.
awful. They're
Yeah,
still
I know.
awful.
Of
we
course.
didn't even introduce Ananto.
I thought we did.
I mean, you kind of did. Yeah,
No, wait,
you
no,
said my
wait,
name.
yeah, no,
yeah.
Wait, did you watch episode 0?
Listen,
Yeah, sorry, whatever.
We can edit this out, the part where I said I haven't watched episode
That's
0.
totally fine.
Episode 0 is really, really good. It's going to be like a fan exclusive for, all the people who donate to the podcast. So, make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit up our Patreon, GoFundMe. What else is there? Bandcamp.
CubeSat GoFundMe.
Kickstarter.
You gotta pimp that out,
Spotify.
Ananto.
Yeah, so if you like
Spotify.
satellites, hit up www.gofundme.com/TJ Reverb, and we'll give you free stuff.
And where can people find you
Free
on
stuff for a monthly subscription. You're welcome,
Find us
guys.
on Facebook on www.facebook.com.
You went too far.
Facebook.com
You went too far.
He's in 2D.
forward
still
slash
coming out
TJ
now.
Reverb.
TJ Reverb.
Yeah.
We're sad.
This is very depressing.
This is
How is
disappointing.
TJ Reverb going? Honestly, from a team lead perspective.
Can you tell us what TJ Reverb is?
Yeah.
You know satellites?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like the moon?
Yes.
Is
Imagine
the
like
moon
a
is a
satellite.
It's a
but-
natural satellite.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay.
Neil?
I mean, the natural satellite, fine. That's quite the distinction to be made with, tiny little 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter by 20 centimeter now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is
CubeSats
that-
that we're making. By we're making, I mean Ananto's leading, partly, and I am just kind of dicking around with Tadic with.
No, Andrew made the logo, right?
Andrew did make the logo.
Props
Shout out to Andrew. He also made the logo for this podcast,
Are we
which
using
you'll
that?
be seeing
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
right now, I guess. It's pretty nice in my opinion. He's got a knack for graphic design. Are you looking at it now, Anato?
Nanto's checking his phone.
Oh my
For the
god.
record.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, we should silence our phones. It's quite the
Oh,
reminder.
it's okay. I have no friends, so no need to worry.
If you're
You have
listening,
parents.
you should also
My parents
silence your
don't.
phone.
Oh,
I'm
damn,
the second
alright.
child. The other one's already successful.
Is that how Asian families work?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Hey, you're the only child, so pressure's on.
Pressure's on? Yeah. I mean, only child. I've stopped giving a shit a long time ago. Don't worry.
Oh, your parents have too, since you were born. Oh,
Ouch.
Ooh, sorry.
You're not
That's a big
100% wrong.
Love you, man.
I love you indeed.
Alright, so we finished introductions. Let's get this rolling. So,
I guess my biggest question for you, Christos, was talking about free time at college. We were talking about a month ago, back when he was on break for another reason. I mean, yeah. Wait, how were you on break before?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That
Yeah, that was
holiday.
more than a month ago. That was like
Yeah.
2 or 3. Yeah, more than 2 months ago. Wow. All right. What was that, Nato? You see, Nato and Parth are whispering to each other off camera, whatever the hell,
Off camera.
off camera.
using those nonverbal cues.
Actual pieces of garbage. Signing. Oh, yeah, all right. He's signing. You don't want to know.
Yeah, so-
Insertion.
Yeah.
back to what what I interrupted. What's free time like at Virginia Tech?
See, look how good those transitions are, Neil. You should learn from Ananto.
Yeah.
So yeah, free time.
Alrighty.
At college, you got a lot more of it just to start out and
Mhm.
go and say it. Yeah, you got a lot more free time to do whatever you want, and it's kind of interesting because you get all that free time because now, what's I think interesting about the transition between normal high school and going to college is in high school your kind of life exists in like two different places where like you have school and you have home and you start at home, you go to school for like 7 hours and then you go home. But now when you're at college, you're at school all the time and you don't go to school anymore, you go to classes. So after you're done with those classes that don't usually last that long and you only have like a few a day depending on your schedule, you have your whole day ahead of you, beyond that.
So
And
what are you doing during that day, though? Like, how does homework factor in compared to free time, like actual free time, and say, I don't know. And also, what do you do with that free time in this kind of campus area? That is, I don't know what that was. I think we're all gonna die.
It's been beeping
No,
for
no,
like the
Neil
past-
just cursed. It just bleeped it out.
Oh, true. This is a post-production.
We can afford that. Totally.
Not that we can afford it. We have the patience for that. Listening to ourselves for more than an hour. Oh God. But yeah.
well, obviously, depending on your coursework is going to determine how much free time you have. But even so, like having a really hard course load, you're going to have a lot of free time because now you don't really have your parents breathing down your neck to do anything. It's kind of just you taking care of yourself and figuring out what you want to do, with yourself. Like for me, for example, I can get home around, back to my dorm, home, quote unquote, like around like 2-3 o'clock on certain days, and I have the whole rest of the night ahead of me. And then homework doesn't always take too long. Obviously, again, depending on how hard your coursework is, but I always have like a few hours a day that I can just honestly do whatever I want, and
Yeah.
it's not as limited anymore. You have a lot of flexibility.
So on the topic of taking care of yourself, because that's my biggest issue going into college, is that I have like the worst habits already, in which like I barely eat. Let's be honest. I think you guys can all tell that pretty easily. And I mean, just in general, like having to take care of myself is a huge issue. How did you manage transitioning from high school, being under the care of your parents, to being mostly independent, 6 hours away?
It all started like in the summer. I tried to really start to do things more for myself. I tried to, do my own laundry, learn how to do it, learn how to like cook very basic things, kind of draw out in my head what I need to be doing once a week. The more organized and the more you kind of plan things out, the lot easier it becomes. Because if you set out a certain amount of time to do your laundry, you know, you have a certain amount of time to clean your room. You kind of get all that down and like kind of have that and build a routine. Routine's the big thing.
Okay.
That's how you can make it easy to take care of yourself instead of just kind of winging it, you know.
So yeah,
So
how
we're in for a
for you for us high schoolers, how much do you think you've already gotten down? I think that's a solid question to ask. Renato, don't you kind of know how to cook? Isn't that you were saying something about that earlier?
Why don't you enlighten
in
us
person.
on your culinary prowess?
I mean, it's like it's food. Like what?
It's not. It doesn't come as easy to us laymen, buddy. Come on.
It's not as hard though as you might think. It's more of like the mentality of trying to be able to keep yourself going with like a routine. You gotta can't let your laundry build up. You can't let your room get too dirty, you know.
Mhm.
That's a big thing. I
Yeah.
see it a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone's got laundry piling up. Everyone's room's always looking trash. You know,
Anime
you gotta,
posters everywhere. It is a war zone.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You got to be careful, especially with the food. A lot of kids for some reason, don't know that you can't just leave food out.
They don't.
Some kids just leave their food out. It's really gross. You
Like
know?
where?
In like just sitting on their desk,
For hours.
and then they'll like throw away like a little later. They don't take out their trash. You know, it's just surprising. It seems simple, but at the same time, you have to be consistent.
How does that affect the dorm environment? So is this in your dorms?
In my
or-
dorms, yes.
Oh God.
In
So,
any
like,
dorms.
So
Wanna
I
talk
visited
about-
Virginia. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I visited Virginia Tech like I don't know 3 or 4 months ago, and the one dorm that I visited, which was Galileo, it smelled like actual garbage. Like it just smelled like man everywhere. Even on the women's section of the dorms, it smelled like just men. I don't know what that. I don't know what that says about the women's section. But
Oh,
you're giving me like the worst look of disapproval right now, Nanto.
This is why he's here to keep you in line. That's why he's here.
You're right. You're right. And also my mom upstairs. Hi, Mom.
I live in my mom's basement.
We are in my mom's
That is
basement,
true.
technically, on that topic of dorm rooms. But yeah, like, is that true for every room? Or, like, sorry, every dormitory? Or, like, is that only Galileo? Because Galileo, I know, is extremely old compared to the other dorms at Virginia Tech.
Well, I haven't been in all of them, but for what I can tell, usually in the hallways, for some reason, the hallways just kind of stay kind of jank. But the rooms can all depend on the people who are living in them. Like,
Okay.
for example, my hallway is, for the most part, smells horrible because a lot of people being unsanitary, not taking care of themselves. But my room smells fine, you know. But yeah, going through the hallway is sometimes a little rough. You might smell some stuff you don't want to smell.
So how exactly is like the transition from home to school? You talked about there's no longer really a barrier between where school is and where home is. So how does that kind of affect you?
In some good ways, some bad ways. You know, you're kind of always in like that. You got that school mentality. You know, it's not like, you know, when you get home from school and you're just like, you know, like you're done with your
Yeah,
school day and
yeah.
you're like, wow, you know, you don't really have that so much anymore. I guess you kind of do when you're done with your classes for the day, but yeah, it just all becomes more integrated and everything kind of feels like one thing. It doesn't feel like my time at school and my time at home.
So is that a negative to you? Or?
No, I think it's a positive. It's actually a very good positive because I think it's a lot less exhausting. Like going to school for like 7 hours a day and then like commuting and stuff and coming home and stuff, like you feel like you're in like a more comfortable environment, like you can be more comfortable because you're making this school your home. So you're kind of at home, your school home all the time. It's definitely a lot less exhausting.
That's interesting. It's very interesting because in the way I look at it is like you have two environments, and if you never get removed from that environment that you generally associate with work, studying, and nothing else, that could create that exhausting nature that I would generally see myself in. Like even now, the way I look at home is just doing homework. I don't really look at it in like that relaxing state.
Wow.
Because, I mean, okay, look, I haven't been doing a lot of homework recently. that's another topic entirely. Blame Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
Ooh.
Shout out.
Mm.
Some quality,
Mm.
hyper quality right there. But, you
Those
guys
are-
want to add
those are
anything?
things
You guys have
parts.
been, and by you, I mean Ananto and Part. I gotta stop with the pronouns. That doesn't work in audio. No. Well, okay. How do you take care of yourselves at home right now? Like, transitioning to a college lifestyle, how do you think you would fare, Ananto?
Are you asking me how to not be a shithole? I mean, okay, I know my parents at least come from shithole countries, but
Topical.
I mean, I don't know. If you smell like garbage, go take a bath. If you feel like you've been eating garbage, go eat not garbage. if you're sleeping in a pile of garbage,
Don't-
literally throw away your garbage, right? Like,
But how do you do that yourself? Like, have you been?
are you asking
Have you been
how I throw
responsible?
away garbage? I mean,
Yeah, because I can say for sure, like for me, I haven't been like when I've been eating like garbage, I continue eating like garbage. If you look around
Just
us
a bad
right now,
decision.
we just have a bunch of fruit snacks and chips.
And brownies.
And brownies, right? I think this goes to show like my usual diet. It's not great, and I think going to a university isn't going to make that any better. Especially when there's healthy food in my fridge that I just choose not to take out. I mean, how do you eat how's your diet? You got that dad bod going.
yeah, I do have like the gut. Not gonna lie. It scales from in the morning saying, oh, all right, gonna be healthy today, versus in the evening, chowing down on a bunch of marshmallow fluff and crying myself to sleep. I said that on audio. Yeah. What are
There's
your
no
thoughts?
taking that.
That's
Barth?
poetic.
Poetic.
Look, it sounds like you're asking me if I know what all the little dials on the washer dryers do.
Do you?
Yeah, mostly. Like, yeah.
This ready to go to Harvard part knows his,
I
knows
got
his washing
I got
machine
deferred,
for-
man. I don't know what the rightmost dial does.
That's what.
I don't know if it steams it or it does anti-wrinkle or what. I don't know.
Steaming dryers. What? Oh,
Yeah, I have a steaming dryer.
You mean
freaking
Where do you think
bourgeois
where do you think I
looking
take
Parth
my
over here.
showers? Oh no, that's not.
Wait,
Wait,
it's not
wait,
a
wait.
dryer.
The
No,
dry-
I don't take it
wait,
to the dryer.
the dryer makes
Do I take
things
it in?
dry.
Steaming dryer.
Mm, makes sense.
I think it has to do something with the anti-wrinkle.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because that's
yeah.
what irons do, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You just iron things with the
Yeah.
iron.
No, but I mean, that's... Come on, does anybody iron these days? I just throw it in the dryer for like 5 minutes.
Sometimes I iron, like your dress clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you gotta iron your dress clothes.
Should I,
Yeah.
should I, should I start ironing my dress clothes, guys? That's
Yeah,
the question.
only if you need it. I mean,
Only if I give a shit.
Helpful tip,
Yes.
Neil. If you just hang your clothes in the
Next to your
bathroom
shower.
when you take a
Yeah.
hot shower,
Oh,
it'll dry
yeah.
it out. It'll clear up the wrinkles.
True. I mean, I was gonna say like I don't even. It's a struggle for me to even fold my clothes. To hang them up, I feel like is gonna be even more difficult.
What even are coat hangers?
What even are coat hangers?
Yeah, and if you want to go for the opposite effect, where you want like wrinkled, disheveled clothes for some reason, you just hang your clothes up in your bathroom and take a really, really cold shower,
Yeah.
and that'll also catalyze the opposite. So
yeah, it's like putting the cake in the oven at -350 to get
Eggs,
eggs, flour, and sugar.
Yeah, you get a chicken, you get sugar cane.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
you just want cookie dough, but not cookies.
You gotta fight entropy. Where entropy was an interesting discussion that we had in Geosystems. Geosystems is a fascinating place at TJ. It is
I
such.
just love your teacher.
Dr. Stickler, honestly, I mean, how do you feel about him, Ananto? I personally think he's top tier at TJ. He's one of those
Creme
it's
de la creme.
it's those teachers that don't give a shit about what they do, but then still do a great job at it. Those are the people that you just tend to idolize.
I love Dr. Stickler and his class. He is a very good teacher. I enjoy the material.
Stop sucking
Yeah.
up to your teacher,
Just in
nerd.
case he's
I'm
listening.
not being
Yeah.
paid
Just
to
in
say this.
I
No,
think he has better things to do than listen to a podcast.
Dude, you would be surprised. The other day, he referenced iDubbbz in front of me. I was like, "Hey, that's pretty good." The way somebody put their notebook back into the cabinet, and he was like, "Hey, that's pretty good."
Are you sure he
And he had the
wasn't mocking
perfect cadence. No, but I did the cadence wrong because I wasn't referencing it 100%. He did it perfect. It was a sign of respect for the guy, not disdain. He wasn't making fun of me or him. He was just showing "Hey, I'm one of you guys." That blew my mind. I think it was there are other kids in our class after a year that he was like, "Oh my god, does he watch iDubbbz? Oh my god." Okay, I might have had the same reaction, but I kept it internal.
Neil, what is iDubbbz?
Christos, do you know what iDubbbz is?
No, I totally don't know what iDubbbz is. The
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys
best
know
channels
the
on
new,
YouTube.
Apple Watch, how they haven't called it the iWatch? Well, iDubbbz is essentially this new product that I've
Stop that.
In the
No. No more.
We're gonna get demonetized.
What's this conversation calculator? Yeah. iDubbbz is it's one of those dark places of YouTube. It's not as dark as certain other
Like what?
personalities.
Filthy Frank?
Yeah, I mean he's dead now.
Oh
Thankfully.
yeah.
Hashtag
Retired.
Rogaine.
Thank you.
Retired quote. Yeah. Rip Filthy Frank. I gotta say, I've never
I'm
really
gonna
was.
sing Holy Grace. Or what is it? Amazing Grace.
Yeah, somebody grabbed the bagpipes, but you know, I
Was
I
that
kind
a
of stuck.
bagpipe?
I don't. Okay, I can't do impressions of personalities, of celebrities, of instruments. No impressions for me.
As long as you try your best, it's okay.
It's the
Thank you.
thought that
It means a
counts.
lot. But yeah, I gotta say, like Filthy Frank, he kind of became a little bit too excessive.
Too
for
filthy?
Too filthy. Yeah. I missed the opportunity to say that for me, and I was just like, this is getting a little like just shock value. I mean, that's what his videos originally were. It was pure shock value, which is why I loved him so much
Is that
because
what
it was so
Trump is?
unique. But then
But he just loses the shock value.
Donald Trump, yeah, at this point, it's kind of like we become inoculated to his
Those big
his
big
antics.
words.
Inoculated. Yeah, it's like
Wait, that's also relevant because of the flu. Damn, Neil, you're so topical today.
what?
You just don't.
You
know,
guys get
like-
your flu shots?
No, like
Yeah,
it's
but you got
bad
it
this
yesterday.
year.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm a real piece of shit to
I
society.
mean, I never get it, but I just know it's bad this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of subverts natural selection. Like, I don't know why you do that.
Are
Yeah,
you dying
honestly.
from the flu?
Wait, people
Why is that the way we wanna
influenza
have
kills.
Natural selection. Just by flu.
I mean, the main reason
future
we-
generations will be immune to the flu and nothing else. It's like, I mean, honestly,
No, but the
though,
flu evolves every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you have to get
or
it.
there's like there's
Yeah.
like hundreds of thousands of different strains of it that they just kind of like predict and they give you a shot for it,
And then when they goof
and then
up,
they goof up, and then everyone still gets the flu, and you're like, all right, well,
Right. Well, that was
moving on.
that was a joke. That was just for levity.
we're not
Ha, ha,
actually
ha, ha.
we're not actually promoting
Humor.
this, is it?
What is that?
It causes autism. Don't do it.
No.
All right, we're done.
Damn, the flu and autism. A vaccine doesn't
No,
work.
vaccines cause autism, not your sense of humor.
Yes.
Clearly didn't work out for Christos
Oh,
here.
no.
Ooh.
Hey, I just got the flu shot. You gotta give it a little time.
Oh,
Set it,
all right.
You know.
Fair enough.
Do you have to edit in a trigger warning for that?
No, just that sarcasm warning.
We can just edit all this out, right?
Stop
You
that.
wanna
That
s-
is middle school humor. I swear. Okay, so this mic that we have in front of us was the same mic I used to record Minecraft videos
Oh,
back in
God.
7th grade.
You
and
showed
then
us.
subsequently stopped after.
People are gonna go digging for your account.
No, it's not. It's all privatized. You can try. People have found it. That's the scary part.
Was it Nero or someone?
She okay, yeah. She actually found it, and then I just played it off, saying it was somebody else, and I just shared the username, and I was like, oh god, oh my.
Of course it wasn't you. The voice is so different.
No, it actually is. I sound so pre.
Wait,
There's that's what my voice sounded like back then. It was just this high pitched scream.
Unplug, whatever that is.
No, that's a internet
router.
router
Oh.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
recommend.
that's probably.
I think that means that it has low battery or something. And as you can see, that was like there's like a battery sticking out of it because we tried replacing it, and then it didn't work. But anyways, back to Minecraft. So what was I saying?
You, Minecraft, posters, anime, walls.
God knows what. I just recently took down my Minecraft posters that I hung up since 7th grade.
You hung those up so long ago. I remember that.
So very long ago, yeah. That was like my 7th grade birthday gift. AKA, I just like, hey, here's $10. Let me buy 2 Minecraft posters. They're big guys. You could see them in my Snapchat sometimes, and then at that point, I was just like, all right, no, it's time to take these down. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be associated with this garbage. But garbage.
But we're associated with you, so is there like a?
It's too late for you guys. You're talking into this mic with these 2 packs right here. It's too
in
late.
a basement.
In a basement. It is in a basement this time. Last time we recorded it in our dining room.
Yes.
We're hoping that the echo is a lot better because we were talking in a completely wooden room, but now we have carpet, we have couches, we have a God knows how old mattress just sitting in the corner, which I'm hoping dampens some of the echo. I don't know. I don't know how acoustics work. But what was I talking about? Minecraft. Somebody
Yeah.
remind me.
You just go on like these
Took
tangents.
took down your
Yeah.
Minecraft posters. But thank God you took down your garbage Minecraft posters and put up anime posters. Thank
Clearly
God.
an upgrade. Clearly.
Yeah. No, the thing is, okay, so like the reason why I got it was my room was completely empty for like the longest time, and it really pissed me off because I would be spending like so much time in this thing just looking at empty walls. So I decided to my life revolved around this video game, so I decided to just put up something. If I had to put up anything, it was going to be Minecraft. Keep in mind, this was 7th grade. This was more than 4 years ago. Please give me a break.
Well, we're proud that you've dealt with your problems and that you've become a better
See,
person.
the thing is, I only took him down like 2 weeks ago. I don't know what, like,
Wait, so Neil, there you go. You already know how to take care of yourself.
Just
Take down the
applause.
posters.
Throwing out
Round
your
of
garbage.
applause.
throwing out the garbage. There you go. Yeah.
I'm putting up the anime pictures.
Wait, isn't literally half these things in here from garage sales or like?
Yeah. So in this basement, we have like Monopoly in the corner that I bought for $3. We have like random art that I think we got for like
You
as
picked
a
up
set.
this mirror right off the street.
There's this giant ass
It's
mirror.
like over 12 feet long.
Yes, it's like 12 by, I don't know, like 3 feet. And we just found it up the side of the road. So me and like 3 of my friends, Christos, you know Jacob and Michael, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just all carried it into my basement. You're like, all right, if this is cursed, call me. If not, see ya. It was a bit spooky carrying this mirror in that we just found. It was
Wait, do you want to
1
flip it on?
a.m.
Do you want to flip it on Craigslist?
Flip.
How can you
what?
flip?
Yeah, how do you flip a mirror?
Well, you got it for free and then you sell it.
That's not what flipping means.
Oh.
Flipping means you take something that's super dilapidated and then you just like make it all new again.
Well, you can probably make it sound
Wipe
like it's
it
all
with some
new.
Windex. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about hanging it up in my room actually to replace.
Instead of the.
But I feel like that's so narcissistic to hang up a giant ass mirror just to reflect you and you alone in your room, which is where I spend a lot of my time in.
I think the fact that it's a closet rolly mirror, I think that kind of nullifies the narcissistic part of it because that's what it is. It's a rolly mirror that you picked up from the street.
It is pretty it's kind of aesthetic. I want to like spray paint the trim maybe. I don't know. I think I could. You know what? Next project. Let's flip this mirror. Tim, you've inspired me. Let's flip this mirror.
Nothing but a bubble of inspiration.
You're nothing but that.
The series has turned from discussions about whatever to flipping mirrors. This is a flipping mirrors podcast.
Excuse you. This is a flipping mirrors podcast.
I'm sure I know a guy.
We
who
don't
knows a guy
appreciate your.
who's like into Craigslist and can.
So I've actually been. So okay, on the topic of crypto, I guess we always have to have a
Why do
crypto.
you?
Why?
We always have to have a
Why?
crypto
Shoot me
session,
now.
right? Sorry, Tim. We have no Chex Mix for him this week.
I
But
have chips instead, but no salsa.
I thought, oh yeah, there was no salsa. There's, anyways,
It's alright, man.
when I was really into it, I was browsing Craigslist like every week, and just looking for used hardware to start like making a bunch of money with. And people there don't understand the value of their items, like at all. You would have like a graphics card that came out 4 years ago that came out like $250 MSRP. It is 4 years later, and they're selling it for $200. It being like 3 years old, used the entire time, thinking that it's worth $200. You negotiate $150, maybe. I'm still giving them a good deal. They're like, nah, man, I can definitely get it $200. And that's the thing. Like, you put out like the way buying used hardware works is you put out a bunch of feelers, like some low balls here and there, some like actual decent deals, and you try to get any kind of response.
Oh, don't people like put fake ones to manipulate the price?
Yeah, that too. I remember this one guy. He sold it in 3 communities outside Fairfax, and that's the thing. That's what you have to do for Craigslist because it does different. You can only search within certain counties. So this guy, 3 different communities, a $50 price range between each one, and I just don't know. Like, is he judging based on like socioeconomic demographics of each? Like, what's going on here? One in
some people
Fairfax
have,
it
like,
was $200.
algorithms, right?
In Burke it was like $250. It was the exact same image, the exact same contact info and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what was going on
How are we
there.
feeling out? See which one gets the most responses.
I got 0 responses. I got 2 responses from people that I texted, that gave out their numbers on Craigslist, and I got 0 from the people that only gave their emails, which was really dumb.
It's probably because your email is very roomy.
No, I didn't actually use Very Roomy, surprisingly. I made like you should look through my Google sign-in history. There is like 7 throwaways. One is like Delgek, Geldek, Sell something. Yeah, it's always 2 syllables with some like blank L deck.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You're a special child. I want you to know that.
Thank you, Tim. Means a lot. I mean, if you're only now learning this, it's about time. Let's be honest. That's your fault. Let's move the conversation elsewhere.
Other than Craigslist.
Other than
What are your
Craigslist,
thoughts
other than
on
crypto.
the constitutionality of income tax?
Constitutionality of income tax.
We're bringing up
That's
the
where you-
prestige of
Mr. Borgelli would be proud. He would be.
Yeah.
What amendment is that? 16? Is that 16?
14.
14?
Is it 14?
What? It can't be
14.
14. Amendment?
Oh, because it used to be illegal.
Oh, wait.
In the
'cause-
original Constitution, it's illegal.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's when everyone owned like
so they
cows,
made everyone
so.
like
I'll look it up.
legal citizens.
No,
and they
stop.
took all their money. You should look it up.
We know
I'll
this
look it up.
actually means that it's gonna go somewhere. We gotta stop
We
this.
have,
God.
keep talking, keep talking.
We got.
We gotta abort this conversation
With,
at the spot.
this
What
is
do
what
you
you do with
feel
your
in
coat
utero?
hangers.
About... No,
No.
Yes.
Parth has a question, guys.
No.
Wait,
I
what
take it
was
back, I
that?
take it back.
What was that?
What?
It's no longer relevant.
No.
What?
What?
What do you
Oh.
do in your free time?
I
You're
think-
so busy.
Well,
Always.
I really like to think of, like, would you rather questions. I just think they're, like, so much fun.
Is this what you do in your free time?
Yeah.
Is this?
You
what-
think-
You write them down. You have a big list.
Do you have like
You
a
have a
chat
journal?
lot,
a couple.
and then, like,
Okay, would you rather have someone shave your lips or file your teeth?
what do you mean by shave your
Shave
lips?
your lips?
Like take a shaver and put it to your lips.
Yeah,
or
take a
shave-
razor, like
you.
run a razor on your lips, or have someone file your teeth.
Well,
File
you
your
can
teeth,
run a razor
obviously.
down your lips without like any damage.
No, it
No.
hurts. What?
You know how rough your lips are?
I mean, I
you're not using-
beautify, buddy. I exfoliate.
Yo, he puts that Vaseline on it.
Vaseline,
every day.
boy.
I
Coconut
don't know.
oil on the spot, 24/7.
That's why it's always so shiny.
File, yeah, no, razor my lips all the way. I have
Because you
chapped
can't
lips.
fix your
Yeah.
your lips will heal, but
my
your teeth.
my teeth are already fucked up. So I'm actually getting my wisdom tooth removed
Oh, is that
on
why
my
you were out
right
of
side.
class?
Oof.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been out of class pretty recently to get some checkups and consultations. But this Friday coming up, 2 wisdom teeth on my right side, upper and lower jaw, are going to be gone. And actually,
I mean,
I was
probably
given a
won't-
choice.
It probably won't affect you that much since you don't eat.
You got him.
Damn. No, the thing is, it's already it's screwing with my eating habit even more so than my eating habit has been screwed over just by my lifestyle. It's actually pretty
It might fix it because if you're eating like healthy things like yogurt and soup, it'd be good for you.
true. But I mean, like, I can't bite into a sandwich without just writhing in pain. So I've just been drinking like nutrition shakes, like Ensure and stuff that helps you like gain weight. It's like as a substitute for me. It's only for like a
It
week.
helps you gain weight, but it helps you gain weight in like muscle mass.
That's not how. What?
I think
you
you have
not
to-
drink,
you also have
like,
to
muscle milk?
exercise.
I think you have
Yeah,
to
that too.
exercise first for that to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just fat because it's storing energy.
There you
Well,
go.
anyways.
Science.
So I was given the choice to either go under completely, anesthesia, or use a local a topical anesthetic. Anesthetic, is that right?
I think so.
Yes.
I feel like that sounds right. Mr. Bio Major Parth, what do you say?
I
Harvard
think it's
bound.
anesthetic.
Anesthetic, all right. Like a
Anesthesia.
local one, Nova.
You're right.
Novoprene. Novoprene sounds right.
Mm.
And essentially, it's actually interesting because anesthesia. There's 2 parts of your reaction system, which my
Mhm. Mhm.
dental surgeon explained to me. There is reaction, and then there's also like your body actually like feeling it or like sensing it, and then the reaction to it. The thing about anesthesia, it only cuts off the feeling part, but your body can still react to it. So you still have to use a local anesthetic with anesthesia if you're working somewhere and like cutting someone open or like removing a wisdom tooth. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But I want to know, like, I want to have the experience. So apparently, when you use anesthesia, you kind of just blink and then you just wake up. You don't realize how much time has passed and the operation is over.
Yeah.
Unlike when you sleep, it's like you can tell that time has progressed. You feel like shit. Actually, I think you're gonna feel like shit either way. But you actually understand, like, all right, it's morning now, or it's like some time later. With anesthesia, it's like time literally just gets deleted from your mind's consciousness. Like it's stream. I think that'd be pretty interesting to experience or not experience, I guess.
You know the hit movie from 2006, Click, with Adam Sandler?
Oh my god.
Yes.
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 What if you had a gun?
like, okay, for our viewers or our listeners who don't know, essentially the whole premise of the movie is that Adam Sandler goes to Bed Bath & Beyond and finds a television remote, okay?
Sorry, you gotta say he finds an old man selling him
He-
a television remote.
He finds an old man sending him a television remote, okay?
Is that how it said it?
And he uses it to fast forward through all, like, the crappy parts of his life, right? but you know what happens if you fast forward through all the good parts in the process. Like he misses his
Wow,
dad dying. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that's the good part, right?
Hell yeah.
And then he dies.
You don't have to.
So you know.
So you can't control it? What?
No, because
Can you-
at the beginning he's just like, oh, I want to skip through like this argument, or oh, I want to skip through like this annoying thing, or I want to
Such
skip
an
to get
Adam
a
Sandler
promotion,
premise.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't he
Then-
make a movie
then,
about
like-
shoes?
What hasn't he made a movie about? But see, I've thought about that in like middle school when
Oh,
I
wait,
was like
no,
taking a
we
test and I
were
just want to
talk-
like skip through
We
it.
were talking about this the other day. Like, what was it? You could like skip traffic, but your life would get shorter.
Right?
Remember?
Yeah. Would you skip like a 30-minute traffic jam if you sacrifice 2 hours from your lifespan?
Was it like wait?
No.
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 You mix up the numbers.
Did I?
'Cause nobody would do that.
Oh wait, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it was the other way around. Would you? Okay, let's say. Would you skip a 15-minute 30-minute traffic jam for 15 minutes off of your total lifespan?
Wait, by skip, do you mean like those 2 hours just get erased? Like
Yeah, you don't like experience them. They still
Like, your
happen.
life gets short.
they happened?
They happen. But
Wait.
Okay,
you just-
okay. So say
Wait,
if you
no, can-
live to 70 years in 15 minutes, right? And you're in this traffic jam, and it's gonna take like a half hour, right? You skip through the half hour, but you lose those 15 minutes later, right? The half hour still happen.
Yeah, so it's like
Wait,
you're
so
actually
no,
missing
you're
75
messing
minutes.
this up. The point is that you gain the time from the traffic to do whatever you want, but you lose the time at the end.
What?
That
So
that
it's
makes
as
way
if-
more
so
sense.
it's as if there were no traffic jam to begin with.
Oh.
You just like
okay.
boom, you're home.
Oh.
And
Okay, well then either way.
Like you've gotten
With-
home 15 or 30 minutes earlier, but then
You
you'll
lose
die
15.
15 minutes.
That's. I mean, yeah,
Oh.
totally. Then the number should be swapped again.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I think you
no,
can do
because
like,
some people like will
no, you can do
listen
some,
to a
like,
podcast
yeah, you
or
can
something,
do good thinking.
or some
Guys,
people
we're
like
so
driving.
shit at developing conversation that we can't even figure out
What the hell
numbers for the
anybody
conversation.
said? What is going on? Would you rather? Yeah, come
Would
on.
you rather file your teeth or skip through traffic?
Oh, would you rather listen to another 5 minutes of this or file your teeth?
I think it's a very clear.
And on that
choice.
note, the fourth bag of fruit
Yeah,
snacks
you
is
were
open.
tearing through those. Holy shit. We have pizza upstairs. Don't. Yeah, save some room for that.
It's okay. You can't overdose on vitamin C, so that's alright.
You can, yeah, because that's water soluble, right?
This is basically like eating fruit. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is the college diet. Get some Welch's fruit snacks. This is my fruit intake for the day. And vegetable too. It's the same color.
Top ramen, beef flavor. That's your meat, and your brain.
Isn't the thing about like ramen that they coat it with wax so they don't stick together?
Is that a
I have
thing?
no idea.
I
But
feel like
still-
that's.
I don't care what you told me is in that thing. I'm still gonna eat it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like those videos about chicken nuggets. I've seen I don't know how many videos of those chicken nugget things and I still eat them.
They taste good. That's what's important.
Question to end all questions: are Hot Pockets good for you? Or not good for you, but are they
Good
like
for you.
as bad as like say cup noodle and like?
Is a hot pocket a sandwich?
No, it's a.
No, it's a burrito.
I think it's more.
It's
a-
definitely not a burrito.
It's not a burrito.
It's not a burrito.
It's more related to a burrito than it is a sandwich.
But it's not a sandwich. Actually,
It's not a sandwich.
not
It's
a-
closed.
It's
Wait,
a
but
pocket.
what about a beef Wellington? Is that a sandwich?
no, it's not a
What the
sandwich.
hell's a beef Wellington?
No, a beef Wellington only has one
Look at
ingredient.
this bourgeois conversation.
No,
I know.
Oh my,
it's
that's
the
a beef
talking about Hot
Wellington,
Pockets.
medium rare.
Beef Wellington.
Put some Gruyere cheese on the
That's not a.
Gruyere.
Gruyere.
Queer.
Get
That's
the
like- it's
brie
like-
and crackers.
Yeah,
Mm.
Brie and
Brie is a cheese.
Brie is.
Brie is dope.
This kid is so extra.
I don't like brie.
Brie's
personally.
nasty, yeah.
What?
I've had a
It's so
couple.
creamy.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I don't know.
It's like a nutty.
She's subjective.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I'm sure you
What
like
are we talking
nuts,
about?
huh?
Talking about Hot Pockets being healthy.
I don't think.
Like, are they?
Well,
No.
they probably
There's
are.
nothing.
But-
No, like
Maybe if you made it yourself, it would be like.
No, no, no.
That's
Okay,
not a
think
Hot
about it like this.
Pocket.
You're eating dinner today. You're on a budget. Actually, Hot Pockets are hella expensive, so you're not on a budget, but you're lazy. You're incredibly lazy. So you have cup noodle and you have a Hot Pocket. A Hot Pocket, I think, is like infinitely times more healthy than like maybe not healthy, but like
Then a
nutritious than cup noodle.
No, because you can get little veggies in your cup noodle.
Yeah, like one
Tomato
You get,
sauce.
like,
Tomato
you get
sauce
that
is a
marinara.
No, I think Hot Pockets is probably better because I can guarantee you that the cup noodle is gonna have a lot more sodium than the
Yeah.
Really?
the Hot Pocket. I don't know, and I feel like the Hot Pocket. You think
I
it'll
feel like
fill
it's
you
like
up
so
more?
loaded with butter, though,
No.
right? It can't be
Okay,
healthy.
think of it like this: if you had to live 1 year eating nothing but cup noodle or hot pockets, I think eating a hot pockets you would survive by the end of that year, whereas cup noodles you would have
Can I have-
disintegrated by the
can
end
I
of the
have
second
different
month.
Flavors
Well,
of
no,
hot
peop-
pockets?
Yeah.
People have
Well, actually, I
survived
don't know.
living off
Let's
cup
say-
noodle.
I don't think Are you really
like
living
an
if
orange-
you're only eating cup
One
noodle?
orange and a cup noodle is like you can get through your life.
You can get through some dark times in your life.
Maybe
An
occasional
orange
potato.
and cup noodle. How could people not hate like that after doing
That's
that? 'Cause I know
horrible.
That would be
I mean,
awful.
it's about options if you want to save money.
You get different
gotta will
flavors, man.
through
You
it.
get like a 36.
There's a lot of
pack.
other cheap food you can get besides cup noodle.
What? Yeah. What have you seen people eating in your dorms?
A lot of ramen. A lot of ramen.
Is that just like the
Wait,
community
don't you guys have,
forcing
like,
that kind of
Food.
It's easy because we have my roommate brought a water boiler to school,
Oh,
and so literally
shit.
all I need to do is like go to the water fountain, do like the top down one, you know.
Yeah.
I have that like right next to my dorm.
Dope.
Pour up like a few cups of water, boil that, freaking crack open the thing and put it in a bowl, and then like pour the water in there, put a plate over it, give it a couple minutes, pour the packet in. I'm good.
Dude, what a life.
Mhm.
Honestly.
It's that easy. But again, also going to the cafeteria and buying food is easy.
In Virginia
Even
Tech.
easier. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Food's actually almost decent. It's like it's not restaurant quality, but it's leagues ahead of like
Other schools.
other schools and
It is
definitely
real
our
food.
high school.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
You'll actually like
It
enjoy
comes from the
yourself.
farm, right?
Yes.
Like some of the food comes from like the school's farm and stuff, right?
I think so.
'Cause when my
Some
sis
of it
went there,
does.
like the milk
Some
was
of the
from
places.
the cows.
No, but see, that's the thing. I feel like you could, if you want to really live cheap, cup noodles isn't the way to go. You can be poor for like a lot less money.
The thing is
Well,
that
then
kinda
you have to like make your own food. You have to buy like beans or buy grains.
you're
Right.
essentially
Yeah.
paying for the time that it takes to cook it.
Does it really take
Opportunity
that long
cost,
to cook
is that
beans
what-
So-
and rice?
You
My-
want to get like a pressure cooker, right? Or, like-
Exactly. I wanted to get a crock pot and just like put in like because it's so easy to make meals in that. There's so many recipes online that you just throw into the crock pot, set for like 4 hours, and then you have a meal at the end of
Yeah.
your classes. Like that's fantastic. And not only that, but like a healthy, a solid, and a tasty meal. Like it fills you up much. I think a lot more wholesomely than a pack of cup noodles would. What's the trick? You gotta boil your cup noodles. You pour in the marinara from your hot pocket. And you got spaghetti.
Oh god, dude! I've
You
seen those
animal.
videos on the internet. Of people who take like the noodles, they take like Parmesan cheese from like those green Parmesan cheese things, and like cut up hot dogs, and then they're like, "Hey guys, here's a sausage." Sausage, marinara. It's like ketchup too. It's like in like the like tasty videos. It's in that format where it's like very cinematic, fast forwarding.
But is it ironic?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. I was talking with people in my proto class because that's all we do. We don't do work in proto. We talk about random shit. Apparently, it's a white people thing to put ketchup in your spaghetti. Is that
that's terrible?
Wait,
That's
but I
horrible.
thought the
I
whole
don't
point
do
was to
that.
use.
Yeah, like I've had spaghetti at your
I
house.
don't
Your
do
mom
that.
makes some hell of spaghetti.
I don't do that. I don't know of any white people that do that.
I don't want to call them out because it seems like a very degenerate thing to do. But if you're listening in, stop. That is not normal.
Not
Message to white
spaghetti,
people.
but mac and cheese. I know a lot of
We
people do
losers
that.
are white.
Yeah, mac and cheese I
Ketchup
can
and mac and
understand.
cheese. Yeah, I know. a lot
I'm
of
not a
people who do
fan,
that.
but like maybe that's just something. Ranch and spaghetti was something I think they mentioned as well. It's like marinara to ketchup and Alfredo to ranch. That is, God help us.
Oh no.
Sad times.
And for the record, Christos, you're white.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So, white listeners, please don't tune off.
Yes.
Don't worry.
We have
Are we-
representation. Yeah, but the rest of us are Asian. It's a solid demographic of TJ. Even if Andrew was here, nothing would have changed.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
We
But
should be
it's all
ashamed.
guys.
It is all guys,
At TJ.
just like TJ.
Oh,
Just like TJ.
I guess.
There's-
Okay,
there's
no,
no-
maybe for like certain friend groups. Let's be real here. Like, kind of suck.
What? No, I was just making a joke because STEM schools generally have like much.
Oh, like CS programs. that-
Yeah, like there's like no girls at all ever.
You'd be surprised. There's actually like in my program, there's like a lot of like females.
I'm glad to hear that.
Probably recent
I guess
It's
yeah.
It's a lot better than you think.
I mean,
It's
compared to
like-
like previous
Wait,
demographics.
but if we look
Yeah.
at TJ's like what is it the research programs, it's
Yeah.
like CS is almost all guys, and the next biggest is
Bio.
which is almost all girls.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the school.
And the rest of us scrubs.
We're
Well,
smart
here,
enough.
Parth, what senior research are you in again?
Chem.
Mentorship.
Chem.
You're in chem? I thought you were in
Yeah.
bio. Shit. I was
No,
gonna
he's a chem god next to Millen and John Kim, right?
No.
Oh.
No. Just God. Scratch the chem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our demographics are only getting even more buck wild.
You're getting worse?
Yeah, we're getting much worse. I think we're like 20% non-Asian now.
Yeah,
At least 2021.
Totally. I think the incoming class, not really freshman year right now is like 70-something% Asian.
Sorry, we're in 2022 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
Wait,
in
are the
2022.
numbers out?
No,
I don't think
well,
for this year, but the current freshman.
the current
Yeah.
freshman.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was closer to like 80 sometimes. And it's only how much, like, the more math that they put into the entrance exam, the more Asian the class gets. This is a real correlation right here.
Are we trying to affect policy change through? our
I'm trying to
podcast?
I'm trying to be as non-PC as like what was it, like 2 years ago they scratched the full essay
They
and they
did?
just yeah
What?
and they
Really?
put they
Oh,
they
wait,
scratched the full
no.
essay and they replaced it with a giant math problem that you had to explain how you work through and what its solution means or something
Really?
like that.
Huh.
So it's like
Yes.
it's focusing on the idea of communication in
It's
STEM.
probably because
It's
the
so-
math program is so hard, and they can't get the teachers to change it, so they're just changing the kids.
No. That's I think it's just because they wanted to focus. So the huge portion of like all like the SmartGo essays for all like the science or all the STEM oriented classes is communication, and all the humanities is inherently communication because that's what they focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Because TJ students don't know how to talk, they don't know how to speak, they don't know how to articulate their thoughts.
As you can
at
tell
all.
by this podcast.
Exactly.
Wait, but then you have all like the Mun and debate kids. Those are still like.
That is a dark recess of TJ. We don't want to talk about Mun and debate kids.
Okay, Neil.
Mun
Yes.
kids, if you're listening, we don't all hate you. It's just Neil.
Yeah, I don't hate you. It's just you guys scare me a lot. I mean global. Holy crap. Me and Nanto are taking global studies.
Yeah.
And Tim, I forgot that you were in my class. Tim sits next to me, and I forgot to mention him. We three are in the same set of teachers.
Same boat.
Same boat.
Still cutthroat.
Not cutthroat. Excellent.
It's definitely still cut.
Oh.
Christos is taking the last brownie.
What is it?
Um,
No,
No,
you-
feel free,
you have the
feel free.
honors.
The Mun and debate kids are the ones that are super
Specifics, Neil. We want names.
extroverted,
Yeah.
You
right?
gotta accuse people.
Call them out.
Which
Come on.
like they're intimidating because they actually know how to articulate their thoughts, and that's so uncommon.
Giving
at this-
people voices.
Go!
Or-
No, we can't do that. Back to your corner.
Oh,
But yeah, like that's the thing. Like I think a lot of students should be taking or doing clubs like that or going into organizations that focus on communication. I mean, hell, that's why I've been so interested in this podcast because it's like an experiment and an exercise for me to be able to voice
It's
myself.
literally just
Yeah.
you talking.
I know, because Parth and Ananto here just
All right. You want to talk about
Yes.
communication
Hell
at
yeah.
TJ, at Global, in school? All right. I'm all for talking, right? I think it's awesome that you have Mon kids and debate kids and whatever, really going for it and leading discussion, right? You know what I hate?
Mm-hmm.
It almost always becomes an echo chamber, okay? Of the same views, just like bouncing around.
that's just a product
and then-
of TJ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Upper middle class.
You saying you guys are brainwashed there? Everyone's thinking the same?
It's not just that. We're completely liberal. We're entirely
it's like,
blue.
There's always that occasional like mildly conservative post on TV.
Yeah.
It always gets flamed.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna name some names. That would have been a mistake.
See, we're here to keep you in check.
Thank you. No, it's not. This mic here is keeping me in check. My internet connection, this going out, is gonna be keeping me in check. But that's the thing. It's not even just like political.
Mhm.
Even like when we're talking about a book or something. Like, how was your experience talking about 1984? In the end, it's always just like three ideas kind of like being voiced in separate sides of the room, none of them being elaborated upon,
Yeah.
and all of them just completely conflicting. And they just keep elaborating, like, they keep just talking about their own thing instead of going into another discussion
Maybe
and
a
actually talking
little
as a
bit more
class.
specific.
Is that a communication
You're right.
problem then?
Like,
with the kids?
Yeah, I think it's just that we're not socially aware enough to like let go of our own ideas and to like accept others into that idea, like fuse it if you can, or like just let the conversation go on. Like with 1984, I mean, can you name any examples?
No, I cut out all of that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Tim here for his. So we each took turns being a discussion leader in that
there
class.
was that.
Tim here asked the entire class to draw him a picture based on their feeling or like how they felt about the ending of the book. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
How? What?
What?
That's such a.
You're gonna stop me? You're
Such
gonna step on my rights?
It's extremely creative. Don't
No,
get me wrong.
what were you looking for with that? Like, what kind of response were you looking for?
Were you just trying to be extra just for the sake of it?
And they were gonna draw pictures and then share them.
But what were the pictures gonna
Like,
represent?
yeah,
Or
how
their
does it?
feelings, how they thought about the end of the book. There you
Yeah.
go.
No, okay,
The
but
blue represents sadness. The red
The
represents
visual
anger.
medium conveys their emotional attachments and associations with the novel, through which they can better understand both the effect of the novel on themselves as well as on society.
Can I
Clearly.
say your voice has like a literal bullshit mode? You speak in a certain way when you just like go into that. It's slightly ironic, which is what I like, because you're not taking yourself seriously, which is good.
I mean, we're pretty good at it, Ananto and I.
Ananto,
Oh, that's
ingenuous Ananto.
Or
Oh,
being
buddy.
ingenuine.
You've been pretty good this session. You haven't.
Thank you.
Because you haven't been saying a lot. So you
Catherine
haven't had
Barbano
many-
isn't here, so you know. I
True. You can't just inadvertently roast someone by accident.
Every time I try to compliment someone, it just comes off very backhandedly.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I'm sure we're gonna experience that at some
Clearly,
point.
the move is just to never talk to anyone ever. You gotta play it
Sure.
safe.
How does it work at West Springfield? This is my base school as well, West Springfield High School.
For what? For like the class
The echo
discussions?
chamber idea, and also the thing about TJ is that because we all have something to say. I feel like because we're all like somewhat we're somewhat interested in the discussion.
Wait, no, I don't think that's true. I don't think we
Some-
all.
not
we-
all,
No,
no.
no, we don't all have something to say. But we all have someone who we need to impress, which is our teachers.
Yes.
And
There
the
we
problem
go.
is that if you concede that someone else has a point and you try to build upon their point, it's not you that's getting credit for the idea, or at least that's how it's perceived. And so the real issue is that you have to hold your ground, and if you don't, then
But
it's
that's the
perceived
thing.
as if
Yeah.
you failed.
Is
Okay, I have a question. All right, so you're at this school, right, and it's sort of drilled into you that there's this mindset of, okay, I have to participate in discussion to impress my teacher to,
get a good grade.
get a good grade.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Grades won't matter.
Now, if over time you become good at talking just because you participate
Uh-huh.
and you're trying to impress your teacher, and you reach, the same end quality of being able to talk as someone who actually, tried to go there genuinely.
Oh, so you're just talking like, does the end justify the means?
Yeah, does the end justify? Is it necessarily a bad thing that you have a pressure to, to perform?
Because not everyone takes that pressure in the same way. I think for me especially, walking into that mun-filled class, I felt like I didn't have not any right to speak, but I had nothing to really articulate.
Yeah, but you
'cause
speak up sometimes.
sometimes,
Yeah,
but
like
not
more than like half
nearly
the
as,
class.
but not nearly as much as say, like, the mun kids.
But like our class isn't that bad. I think it's probably worse than your guys' class because we are the quote unquote talkative.
Yeah, and
level.
that's why it is a problem. Okay, whatever.
Okay,
Essentially, but a lot of people are shut down because of that.
that's true.
Pressure takes its effect in a multitude of ways. I think we definitely realize that at our
No,
school.
but I mean,
where
does
people are
it
shut
even
down.
apply in real life, say, right? Because, all right, here, I'm going to give you, like, a random example. If you're applying for a grant, right? If you're the quiet guy who has, like a research grant. If you're the quiet guy who has a really, really good idea, you're going to get just completely blown out of the water by really vocal people who have, shitty stuff that they want to push.
Mhm.
I think that's the point of why you guys are taking those classes right now, because they want to push you guys to be able to get your ideas out. And I know they especially push that in college, especially for like engineering and stuff, because with engineering you have to design, you have to make stuff, and you can have a great idea, but if you cannot communicate that idea to a company, a person, an investor, then all you have is just an idea, and you're not going to have a product. And I think what the interesting part about it is the CS majors, right? One of their required classes is public speaking.
That's
CS,
Oh,
computer
man.
science.
Uh huh.
So just imagine the cliche kind of computer science, kind of like more closed in kind of person. They have to take a class on how to speak publicly. And I think that's pretty interesting.
That's super important. In my opinion, communication is the greatest skill somebody can have. You can do anything if you can phrase it the correct way to the right people.
Fake it till you make it.
Not even fake it. You can just take exactly what you're given, just spin it completely factually,
Just make it look better.
completely it still has integrity,
Mhm.
but it's just phrased in a certain way that shines it in a certain light, and you can do
Charisma,
anything.
communication. That's all. That's how a certain someone won the presidency. I mean, that's how that happened.
Exactly.
Classic
There you go.
Obama.
So you gotta know like your audience too, like who exactly you're selling whatever it is you're selling.
It's super interesting that you have to take a public speaking class. Are you taking that by
No,
chance?
I'm not in CS, but I do
So do you
kind
plan
of
to?
I do kind of want to take it though. Like as much as I would hate taking it.
Yeah.
It's like it's just you just gotta learn how to do it. You gotta learn how to be able to get your ideas out and be able to do it coherently and efficiently.
It's one of those things where like
Yeah.
you appreciate it down the line when you realize how much you've actually learned.
Mm-hmm.
So future president of America, Parth, do you wanna talk on this?
Running 2036. Keep on. I didn't even do the math. I don't think that's correct, but anyway.
No, I think
No, it is.
I think that's
35 is.
Oh, I just bullshitted a year.
There we
All
go.
right,
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's the first year I can run too, because you have to
Yeah.
be over 35, right?
Yeah. If we're
Well,
testing you up.
yeah.
There we
I was
go.
gonna say you had a 1 in 2 chance with getting the even year right.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good.
Spot on.
All right.
Because clearly you don't need government or military experience to be president.
No.
Obviously not.
I mean, with Oprah, like I think honestly, like 10 years from now, like the new way to run is just to like call in, like you just text a number with your ballot, and then you,
Yeah, no,
America's next top president.
No, I don't even think it'll stop there. I think it could go all the way to like legislation. Like you can, if you feel strongly enough, you can just vote for legislation on your phone. You can just do away with
Wait, but
Aylin
representative
was
democracy
so I was
altogether.
talking to Aylin about a direct democracy at some point, and she deliberately mentioned your name. She's like, you should have a conversation with Parth because you talked about how like we should vote through our cell phones and how like or with the advent of cell phones, direct democracy is actually possible. And I was like,
But like
saying,
mobile
That's such a
companies,
terrible idea,
because
though.
the companies
Yeah, I-
literally
this-
control.
No, not just that,
not
but like
security.
I do not trust myself to freaking negotiate with North Korea. Okay, I do not.
No,
like,
but legislation.
legislation. I don't even trust myself to
Well,
legislate
okay.
over like the nation's.
But you're
rivers
not
and
writing
stuff.
it.
So it's a
right?
limited
Like-
direct democracy. We don't put it to like direct legislation, but we put it so we can get the public's idea out there when it's so easy as
Well, it's like
tap a button.
referendums or whatever.
Yeah,
It's-
okay, a referendum's different
Yeah.
though.
But it'd be,
That
See,
makes sense, right?
But that's only the thing is those also only incorporate a politically motivated group. It doesn't factor in everyone who's just apathetic about things, because you have to take time out of your life to go to one of these things, speak to a representative, and it's honestly a pain. But with like a mobile phone, you see one red button, you see one blue. Actually, no, don't even make it red and blue. Make it purple and black, so it's politically ambiguous.
okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't want
No,
people just looking at blue. Hey,
Sure.
that
Or
one.
like
Yeah.
green and
Yeah.
yellow.
I just said purple and black because it's Bruce, just like
But
our
they're
government.
both dark colors, so you can't tell which one is which for like if
Okay.
you're colorblind.
Wait, are you saying suggesting legislation or voting on legislation or
Or
what
just
are you
getting the
saying?
public opinion, but also
But people-
getting
well, no,
people
that's just
into
a-
office.
that's just
Don't you
a-
think
an
people
opinion.
just
Yeah,
sell
yeah.
the like make a
But
bot
making-
or something to vote for them? Like we'll give you $5
Well,
if you
then-
let us.
well,
But
then you-
I'm
yeah.
sure there are ways to make it to make identities and votes integrative. What's
no,
the
because
word?
I could
All
be
right,
like, say you have an account, like say
Real.
you have like a government account
Real,
to
yeah.
vote. All right, so it's in a database.
You put in all your identity.
number, yeah. So
Yeah.
every time you go to vote, you put in your username, or whatever, and then you vote. So I, as a company, could be like, okay, I'll buy your vote, so I'll use your data to vote for you in return for money. So then I can just have a bot that has like 500, 1,000 people voting the way I want it to vote, and I've just paid for all of them.
But what I think is more concerning is just like if you look at YouTube comment sections or something, there's people who genuinely have some terrible notions about other groups, but because they're behind a phone or a computer screen,
Oh, that's true.
they face no ramifications of voicing those decisions, and
Are-
it's kind of like this anonymity is invincibility. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
Not even
And-
that, but sorry,
Oh, thanks.
I interrupted you.
Oh, that's fine. But then if you go towards something where it's like everybody just, if you can make a law on a phone or vote for a law on a phone, you're no longer held accountable to your vote. Right?
But the
And-
whole fact of votes are they're anonymous as well.
Yeah.
In the end, it's
Yeah.
Doesn't that bring out the truth?
It's
more
just-
if you
but-
not has held accountable for your opinions.
But,
and the
but
thing
I
is,
think there's a
So are people writing the laws, or are
no, we're not writing them.
Okay,
We're
they're
We
just
are-
suggesting them?
Actually, hell, we could.
Yeah,
you could
like,
have
you
like
could.
you can vote up laws that you like or
Like, you
something.
upvote
like that.
laws.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. But on the topic of YouTube comments, the thing is, like, that's not just a product of anonymity. If you look at some place like Reddit, where you have a history of your posts, that also just suppresses your own, like, more like outgoing, or not outgoing, but just more alternative opinions. Because people can look through your history, and people don't. It's a pain to make a throwaway just to post some bullshit that immediately will get removed by a
So is it-
moderator or something like that. And if this was government sponsored and run, there would be a shit ton of moderators. There could be legal ramifications if you were to do something incorrectly.
But that would be limiting free speech.
and
No,
then how do you
but-
decide?
Yeah.
Like, how does a moderator decide what's too extreme and what isn't?
What's a shit post and what isn't? Yeah, essentially. Well,
So I think
I-
no, you could have like people who are respected get more voting power than like new accounts, or is that not fair?
in the end, I don't think it should be hidden behind a username or anything like that. You should have an identity,
Okay,
and you should be traceable based on that identity. Like what?
I can find your house.
I don't think people should be able to look at it, but a power. I mean, not even like the government shouldn't be able to look at it
The
either.
agency should be able to look at it.
So
what
like
you're
in
saying.
case there's like
I don't think any, actually no.
lawsuit or
Now that I'm
something-
thinking about it, I don't think anybody should be able to look at it because
But
then
then-
that breaks anonymity. And
Yeah.
or if we were actually voting, like they shouldn't look at your voting history. They should look at. Okay, this is like thinking about voting as a social media, and I think that's where maybe we've taken it too far.
But it kind of is, because at
I
least
mean,
right
like-
now, when you have legislation being proposed, you have a face behind it. You have some representative, right?
and
no,
they have a voting history.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and no representative is going to go out of their way and be like, no, we should definitely, make slavery a thing again. Like, they're just not going to do that because they have to save face. And even
Mhm.
if their constituents support them, on a national scale, people won't be supporting them. But when you're behind a cell phone,
Yeah.
right? You're not as afraid to make those calls, right?
Anonymity,
Or to voice those opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So what if we break anonymity? What if we make an actual social media out of policy?
No, it wouldn't work.
Why not?
Because
And okay, let me preface that we put in
No, 'cause
safeguards against corruption and like voter fraud.
But again,
essentially.
like someone who doesn't agree with your vote could find your house and like beat you up.
okay, not
yeah, no,
But like,
that-
but like
I agree with
corporately or
Tim,
like
right?
with a company or with a political machine, they could just gather your data,
because all right,
like gerrymandering.
okay. Well, that already okay. First of all, gathering data that already happens. There's no stopping that. Facebook is.
but like
recording
your
literal-
votes aren't. There's no data on your votes, just on a county level.
Okay, so then voting is anonymous, but then say like the way you actually vote for a law is maybe anonymous, but then the way you support it, I don't know.
So would there be
Well,
like
what's
a
the
form?
difference
Yeah, what's
between
the
supporting
difference?
it on
Yeah,
a
I don't know.
platform than doing it just in real life?
no, because
because one, the world can look at it. The other,
So
it's
is there like a
internet.
process like you have to upvote a law, and then after it gets on high enough upvotes, it goes into like a voting like phase, and then after it gets voted on, then it goes into like an action phase or something.
Maybe I don't. I just want to like a way to give people more of a voice and a more even voice. The
Yeah.
internet of essentially like everyone is the same user. That's the beauty of it. Oh, this is so
FCC.
cute. Ananto just put around a code around cold old park. Aw, but
But net neutrality.
yeah, net neutrality. Like everybody doesn't like it, and then yet the government's going through with it. But that's
Some people are saying it's good because that means hospitals will have faster Wi-Fi than like.
XD.
Other
But I think
sites.
there's ways to go around that, anyways.
hospitals should have.
That's
faster
not even-
Wi-Fi. They can just pay
It's
for
not
faster
even.
Wi-Fi,
Yeah,
like-
exactly. I think a hospital. Should pay. See, that's such a weird argument for it, because it's not just access to the internet. It's access to certain areas of the internet. And a hospital will already have direct access to things that we consumers and citizens, normal everyday citizens, wouldn't need. It's like, what does a hospital need more so than?
No, like emergency services, if like they need to communicate between themselves or to someone.
yeah, they use their own networks already. Like,
Okay.
there's already systems in place to like make sure that doesn't happen.
Mm.
I was gonna name a specific example, but I forgot what country, and I forgot exactly what the example was.
No, but the country wouldn't be the United States. Or-
Mm-mm. It was somewhere else where they put in an emergency system. They use a separate grid than the normal cellular network. It had like dedicated areas or dedicated services for emergency
Mhm.
personnel, and it failed miserably. But that's just because the infrastructure was horrible. It was in a very developed area, if I remember correctly. This doesn't really have any weight to what I'm saying because I'm saying meaningless stuff. There's no example here. But in the U.S., we have that infrastructure. We can have that emergency grid. We don't really need it because it's not like our emergency grid is saturated. Like even in like say like you're in a city, some disaster happens, everybody's calling everything. What's the bottleneck isn't the service providers, it's the personnel taking those calls.
Or like the infrastructure.
It's not the infrastructure, it's the people behind that infrastructure. That's the bottleneck. It's the people in police stations taking those calls to provide relief.
But don't you think
Is
people
that-
are calling each other too?
Yeah,
But I don't
sure
think that's a
the
problem.
case.
And
Are you
when it's like a
like,
disaster, all
when-
those services go down anyway. So
Are you sure? Because I remember.
But I
at
think the
least
point is that they
during-
shouldn't-
Like, remember how France in 2015 had the terrorist attack in November, right? Where you know the shooters going about, and I think that was like the very first time, at least that I can remember, that Facebook unveiled their like "Are you safe?" feature, right? Because it was an
Right.
easy way of having people just do a check mark. Okay, I'm in a safe zone, so that they weren't completely flooding the phone lines, because that was actually a legitimate problem, right?
I didn't hear about that. Okay, interesting.
Because your
Yeah.
phone lines aren't your internet lines.
Yeah.
And I believe like a similar thing happened during 9/11, where you had so many people calling that everything was just like jammed, and they had trouble just getting contact.
On that topic, cell phone lines aren't internet lines. Would net neutrality help that? And like that's okay. Let's move it back a little bit.
Okay.
So we were talking about how whether or not net neutrality actually has some benefits, right? Aside from giving priority to certain like high priority services that people need. I'm trying to think, would net neutrality actually affect that? Because on the topic of telephone lines, it doesn't have any jurisdiction there. Internet, as we see, as Ananto was talking about, has taken over that, like with Facebook's "Are You Safe?"
I think
Where it
the
kinda
idea is
replaces
like,
it.
because you're creating different levels of speed. Are you adding layers of speed that people can purchase, or are you suppressing the average so that people have to pay for normal speed?
It's not. The thing is, though, the concerns with net neutrality aren't speeds; it's access.
That's true. Too.
It's paying more to just get somewhere else with the same data plan, which is, in my opinion, just that contradicts everything the internet stands for.
Yeah.
I think we have a different view on it because we're millennials, right? We've grown up in the internet environment. I've had a computer since I was at least like 10 years old in my house, right? We've used it a lot, but I can see the argument for why you'd want net neutrality. If I'm a person who only reads like the Washington Post and the New York Times, or just like looks through text or whatever for my internet usage, why should I pay for speeds that allow me to stream Netflix at 4K? Right? If I can pay for a toned down plan that gives me access to what I need when I want it, and to pay for the extra filler, then I'm going to go for that cheaper plan.
But there's no guarantee that would be cheaper. There's no guarantee that you would have the same exact speed as you do right now and only have access to like the Washington Post. And there's no guarantee that the Washington Post would be the lowest level tier. It could be like
What are
the
you talking
second
about?
highest. Those websites could be like the second highest because it's a
No, but
competitor.
you're selling it as a bundle. But what if he's just saying they sold it like as individual sites?
But you don't know.
Nobody knows.
And that's not profitable. Like, that's not profitable to sell it as individual sites. You'd rather sell it as
Exactly.
a bundle.
Or you
then-
could pay
Which is
more.
why
So it as like a
cable
news
providers
bundle.
do that right now.
Yeah.
They have entertainment bundles because they know you're not going to watch everything else, but they can make you pay more because it has so much.
Has more.
And it kind of justifies the price.
Yeah. And they know every bundle has at least like one thing that someone or the other will need at that higher tier.
And you're paying like
Yeah.
$30 extra per month just for Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Why is Cartoon Network the highest bundle? Oh my god.
So like for the internet, you'd have like a music bundle, like a social media bundle, and like a media bundle, like Netflix, like Hulu and stuff. And everyone wants one of those things in there, but like you gotta buy all of them.
And keep in mind, these are all hypotheticals. ISPs might not do this. But the fact is
But
that
they're
they're
definitely-
fighting for the ability to be able to
They'll
do
definitely
that.
do something because the whole thing was that Comcast was throttling Netflix a while back
Mhm.
and
Oh,
making
yep.
Netflix play it.
And no, the thing is, it's also like the way T-Mobile is giving free data to like Netflix, YouTube, and just a bunch of video sharing. That also contradicts net neutrality, and that's a benefit, which is interesting because I'm kind of confused then, because I like having YouTube not take up my data plan, but on the other hand, they can start reducing speeds from other video streaming sites because YouTube paid them to have their video be like data free.
Oh yeah, there's like the whole thing with YouTube now. Like YouTube is like cracking down or like trying to like monetize. Like YouTubers are complaining about it, right?
Well, that's something entirely
That's
different. That's like
different-
ads.
I know, but like again, there's like a few companies are using their powers
Yeah,
to control what you can consume and what you can buy.
true. Very
and that
true.
hurts small businesses too, because if all the big businesses like YouTube and stuff and Google can pay the ISPs to make their access to their websites faster, smaller businesses can't, and so it puts them at a disadvantage.
There's already so many laws that like completely stifle new ISPs from growing in any like new county, because it's so difficult to put down new lines, to put down all that, because you have to go through so many bureaucracy like levels to do anything of that scale, and that's what allows ISPs like Verizon, like Time Warner, like Comcast to have such a tight grip, and they're only trying to make that grip tighter.
Oh, but then that kind of transitioned into like municipals, like water and electricity.
Yeah.
Some places they don't have, like they'll have like 20 electrical lines running out the street because each is a different company.
Really?
Yeah, I think in Haiti, Mr. Field talked about it. Like every family had like car batteries in their basement because the power would just go out. Same with like mobile.
Well, that's
breakers.
different. Like in India, when I was a kid, in my my grandfather's apartment building, the power would literally have like a time where it would just go out every other week because the infrastructure just couldn't handle it. But then if you had enough money, you can buy a battery that saved up power that would allow you to still use it during that time. And like that was a godsend for me because I was just watching, freaking God knows what. I actually have no idea what I was
Yeah,
watching
but
back
like
then.
if they did this with like internet, because you talked about it, it's a pain to put down more lines. So obviously it doesn't make sense to have a budget.
But it doesn't have to be a pain. It just is because of the regulation all these big companies put in, or like lobbied in, I should say.
Okay, so like the argument is that removing net neutrality would increase competition. But at the same time, if only a few people are playing, they basically have a monopoly.
And there isn't a lot of competition either, because now we have access to a few of them here, but in some places, especially in like Midwest United States,
yeah.
they have like one service provider.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like that's it. So then if that one service provider is like Comcast, Verizon, and then they have unfair packages, there's no competition to kind of control that, because the idea is like, because there's so many companies, if one goes like out of control and has like a lot of like unfair packages or whatever that's really expensive, you just go to the other one.
Mhm.
Those people who have one service provider can't go to the other one.
And the thing is, like, with water, with electricity, all those have set prices that are somewhat regulated by the government to make sure that people have access to it. And there's subsidies for people who can't have access for it, so they can have access for it. There's nothing in place, because they still don't see... There's nothing in place for that for the internet, because they still don't see the internet as a necessity, which is ridiculous in
Is it?
2018.
Is the internet a necessity?
Yes, 100%.
Again, this
You
day-
pay your bills
But the thing
on
is,
the
like,
internet.
on the other hand, is like these municipals, they have some of the lowest like approval rating, but so does Comcast, I guess. But like because they're not,
Yeah.
Comcast, Verizon.
Comcast is like right next to EA on like United
yeah.
States worst companies. I wonder if you still look that up. You'll still get like the Nazi flag as a Reddit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They actually paid someone. They paid. I think they paid Imgur. Imager. Yeah, thank you. To take that down, or not. Like, they didn't pay, but like they forced Imager to take that down because it was defamatory. I mean, it was just. And does that violate free speech? Yeah, God knows what.
we talk about this for Gov, right? Like our website's allowed to like control their content.
Yeah, and in my opinion, they should. It's just we should stop using those websites, and I think the market would suppress those websites that suppress the people using it, and a new one would come up
But
that
say,
allows
like-
people to do whatever they
But
want.
say like a company controls like your access to that website.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You create a bottleneck at that very source, then suddenly you get Verizon. Yeah, speaking of Verizon, I have 60 megabytes or megabits down right now and 0.03 up for 2 weeks. So, anyways, I think we should wrap things up. That was a very interesting transition
We
to
touched a lot of
policy.
random-
Yeah.
It was interesting though. I think Started
Probably
off a
more,
little
it's probably
bit.
more interesting for us than people listening.
Yeah. I think it was a little slow at the beginning, but then it.
People would probably
I
like
just got
scream
more
at
good.
us through our phones. Like,
Yeah.
shut about this. What about this? Or,
No, no,
or,
no.
or shut up.
Yeah, we don't give a shit. No.
Talk about I don't know. Yeah.
So listeners, if you do have something you would like
Leave a
all of us
comment.
to say,
Leave a
leave
comment.
a comment or
Actually, no. Where should we upload this? I was thinking YouTube.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud's so trashy. Spot. I don't know how to do Spotify.
Everything.
know.
Everything.
Everything. All right.
Yeah.
Find us everywhere. Club Penguin, Pop Tropica. You'll find us.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
All
All right.
And school.
See ya.
And school. Don't talk to us in school.
Bye.
Don't do it.
Bye.
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 See ya.